Okay, we are discussing about the circles, that is about the concept learning. So the previous topic is about the concept learning. Okay, when we learned about the concept, the circle concept is learned by the child. When the child learns about the circles, what the child is doing is we are showing different things, objects to the child. For example, coin is given, some plate is given, and this is a circle, and you are teaching them it is a circle. So the child learns about the circle. Now you show the triangle, ask the child whether it is a circle. The child will say no, and show the square, and show the rectangle. The child will say no. Okay, this is how the child learns about the concept called the circle, right? And then what will happen in the mind of the child is something child learns, and he knows how to discriminate also. It is also important for the child to be exposed to circles in a wide variety of representative situations, so that they learn to recognize circles which are embedded in more complex objects. So when it is embedded in the more complex objects also, the child learns it is a circle only. And then spontaneously the child identifies. When you show a really unfamiliar situation and ask the child, in that unfamiliar situation also, if the child recognizes the circle, that means the concept is very much learned by the child. So that is when the students are able to spontaneously identify the circles in unfamiliar context, they have acquired the concept circles, right? Then we are understanding about the rule learning. So when you talk about the rule learning is nothing but it is the ability to respond to an entire set of situations, that is stimuli, with a whole set of actions, that is responses. Rule learning appears to be the predominant type of learning to facilitate efficient and coherent human functioning. Even in a normal whatever activity we are doing now, for example, we are speaking, we are writing, or even our daily routine activities, many of our behaviors, these are governed by the rule learning only. Another example is the society. Okay, the society, there are certain rules and regulations, and we follow certain things, so that the society is in a proper position. Otherwise there will be anarchy, there will be a lot of confusion in the society. So we are following actually the complex rules, and set of rules is there, and these rules, and we are observing, and we have learned these rules, and we observe that also. So majority of the people follow these certain rules, right? So much of mathematics learning is rule learning. There are, for example, the multiplication. So in the lower classes also we have learned that 2 into 3 equal to 3, 2 into 3 is equal to 3 into 2. But we don't know about what is commutative law and all. But we know this concept. So most of the people learn and use the rule that multiplication is commutative without being able to state it. That is, in order to discuss this rule, it must be given either a verbal or a symbolic formulation, such as the order in which multiplication is done doesn't make any difference in the answer. Or, for all numbers A and B, okay, A into B is same as B into A. The relation, okay, the particular rule and rules in general can be thought of as sets of relations among set of concepts. Mathematics teacher need to be aware that being able to state a definition, suppose a child states the definition, we cannot say that the child has learned it. Okay, he has memorized and he has stated it, right? So indicate whether the child has learned or not the rule. That is, the child has. You cannot say that the child has stated the definition. That means the child knows, or he has written very nicely the definition in the paper. That means the child has learned. No, we cannot say that. So writing a rule on a sheet of paper is little indication of whether the child has learned the rule. Then what is the indication? If the student or to learn a rule, they must have previously learned the chains of concepts that constitute the rule. The conditions of rule learning begin by specifying the behavior expected of the learner in order to verify that the rule has been learned. certain behavior. So if the rule is learned, certain behavior the child should exhibit. Then only we can say that child has learned that particular rule. Okay, and then a rule has been learned when the learner can appropriately and correctly apply the rule in number of different situations. So the child is able to use the rule in different situations and to appropriately, then we can say that the child has learned the rule. Okay, in his book, that is Robert Gagne's book, The Conditions of Learning, he has given the 5 sequential steps, okay, instructional sequence, or you can say 5 steps he has given. The step 1, he talks about what is the step 1? Inform the learner about the form of performance to be expected when learning is completed. Okay, when the learning is completed, what is expected from the learner? This is step 1. Second one is question the learner in a way that requires the reinstatement or recall of the previously learned concept. Okay, so the child is able to recall. Okay, that question the learner in a way that requires recall of the previously learned concept. Next is the recall type. And the third one is use verbal statements, cues, that will lead the learner to put the rule together, okay, as a chain of concepts to the proper order. The child is able to make the chain of concepts in the proper order. Next comes this step 4. By means of question, by means of a question, ask the learner to demonstrate one of more concrete instances. Okay, one of more concrete instances of the rule. Okay, by means of question, you can ask some question to the child and ask the learner to demonstrate. So you have learned something, not demonstrate it. So this can be 4th step. The 5th step is by a suitable question, require the learner to make a verbal statement of the rule. A child can restate by himself in his own words. Okay, by a suitable question, require the learner to make a verbal statement of the rule. Okay, suitable question so that the child can restate whatever the rule is. To make the verbal statement of the rule, right? Then the last step of learning is nothing but the problem solving. So the Gagne is given the 8 steps. The highest level of learning is the problem solving. As we have seen in detail about the Polia's problem solving, right? So detailed discussion we have already done. As one might expect, problem solving is the higher order or more complex type learning than rule learning, and a rule acquisition is prerequisite to problem solving. So first the child should know the rule learning, then only he can go to the problem solving. Problem solving involves selecting and chaining sets of rules in a manner unique to the learner, which result in the establishment of higher order set of rules which was previously unknown to the learner. So what the child is doing in the problem solving, he's selecting and chaining set of rules. There are so many set of rules, and he select and he change the rules. Okay, how he is chaining the rule in a manner that result in established, so it results in the higher order rules. Okay. Then first one is the presentation of the problem. What are the different steps? We can say there are 5 steps of problem solving according to Gagne. The first step, presentation of the problem in a general form. Okay, second one is restate the problem into an operational definition. Restatement means the problem, whatever is given, the child is stating in his own words, so that whatever is given, whatever data and what we are supposed to find, all this, right? Next is formulation of alternative hypothesis. And procedures which may be appropriate means of attacking the problem. That is the plan. We can say the child is doing the plan to solve the problem. These are the plan I'm going to do, and forming the alternative hypothesis, and some sort of plan is made. Now hypothesis is made, and now whether this is correct or wrong, we have to test it. Therefore, testing hypothesis is the 4th step. Because in the 3rd step we have made the hypothesis. No, this means hypothesis is nothing but the guess. That is the learned guess, we can say. So whether it is correct or wrong, that is tested in the 4th stage. So testing hypothesis and carrying out procedures. Okay, to obtain solution or a set of alternative solution. Okay, testing the hypothesis, and we are carrying out the procedures to obtain a solution. So we are finding the procedure to obtain the solution, or we are finding some alternative solutions. And then the 5th one is deciding which possible solution is most appropriate. So here solution 1, solution 2, solution 3. I can call it a solution 1, solution 2, and solution 3. In the steps, there are so many solutions we are making. In the 5th step, that is deciding which is the correct solution. Deciding which possible solution is most appropriate or verifying that a single solution is correct. We are verifying that this single solution, yes, this solution is correct. And we verify and we say that this particular solution is correct.